on this family court episode, we have a very, very special. This is what they call Adventures of Gene and Ev's story for the family court professionals. So on this very personal story for Gene, a hypothetical person, we're going to talk about the young adventures of a young 3-year-old Gene in family court. So Gene was actually won by his father, Gene, in family court at a trial.
Wow.
Right. And I'm bringing this up because actually, as a philosopher myself, I actually don't think this was fairly. I know it wasn't fairly decided, but to me it seems kind of complicated. But the circumstances was an issue in this family court case was the mother's zealous love of religion and church, and maybe neglecting their child by wanting to go to church. And what ended up becoming like the deciding question of this family court case was this Gene's mother was put on the stand, and this is all through hypothetical hearsay, right? Because Gene was 3 years old at the time.
Hypothetical hearsay. That's a label for
So what Gene was told is that Gene's mother was asked, "What is more important to you, God or your children?"
Oh shit!
And Gene's mother, being a born-again Christian in the 90s, which is that's real religion. It's not like just atheist 2024 people we are now. Said God, emphatically.
Wrong answer.
God. The judge said, "We're gonna take a little remission. Like everyone, talk to the attorneys. We're gonna take a second. Everyone think about why we're here." I don't know what was said. I don't know exaggeration on it. And then Gene's mother was put back on the stand and asked the question again, and answered again, "What's more important, your children or religion or God?" And she chose God. Which if you're really religious, it seems kind of.
It makes me think of
I gotta tell you, that's actually the answer that every religious person has to give.
I would imagine, right?
Nothing of every theology, right?
Yeah.
Every theistic religion
I would imagine.
says
I'm pretty sure
God
Abraham-
first, then family.
I'm pretty sure
even
Abraham was asked the same question, right?
Yeah,
Even had to kill him.
literally that's the whole story of Abraham, right?
this is why I'm a Satanist.
Right? It's supposed to be.
I'm becoming one now.
But it's even God and country, right? It's always God first, right? Under God, right? What are they punishing her for?
Right? That's
We should take that up to the Supreme Court.
It really
That is worth an appeal.
It's actually reminiscent
that
of
should have been Article 78 appeal.
It's actually reminiscent of Christian scientists and neglect of a child because you won't take them to get antibiotics for a sickness, but you pray it, and then it becomes First Amendment religious. What versus the best interest of the child, and how is this square circled?
But that's also not the evidence that's in this hypothetical.
No, I'm just saying it reminds
you've gone somewhere else.
It, made it a little more complicated.
You went to the worst possible version of this, whereas this is the normal version of life where people just tend to acknowledge that God comes first.
Yeah. So,
jeez, I couldn't concept. Maybe I didn't because I didn't grow up in I didn't grow up in a religious background. My mom is Catholic and religious, but my father is an atheist. So I didn't grow up. My parents gave me a choice when I was little. They said, "This is what I believe in. This is what we did, but it's your choice." And I never signed up. My sister, 3.5 years younger than me, my little sister, always will be. She got her confirmation, all the Catholic notches on her belt.
But the judge made the decision for Gene. Because after Gene's mother doubled down, 10-minute recess, full custody for the father.
Oh, wow.
Wow, that's an easy one, bro.
And I guess that what I'm posing and which you guys kind of started. I just wanted to finish my goddamn story.
Yeah, sorry.
I'm just joking.
He was having a spiral of his own traumas.
I was like,
is,
New hype.
you guys kind of got into it. Like I kind of get best interest of the child, I guess, but it does seem kind of like a conflict of whichever of these amendments that say religion and shit.
Only God.
First Amendment. I thought First Amendment was freedom of speech.
First Amendment, freedom of
speech,
religion,
speech,
freedom
religion,
of
and the
press.
press.
Yeah.
Oh damn.
And the right to assemble.
Turns
Yeah,
to swear.
which encompasses
But
all
no,
of it.
here's the thing about that bothers me. It doesn't. The question on cross-examination should have been, you said that God comes before anything else. Okay. What does that mean to you? Yeah. Like, what does God teach you?
Well,
and the
that's
next
a
step,
direct examination or recross.
yeah, but like on
good.
cross, you should
That's
have.
good.
The question should have been, what does that mean to you? Because the answer is
Elaborate
probably
on
going
that.
to be something along the lines of, you have to take care of your family. You have to be a good person. You can't steal. You can't cause harm. You can't, like
your children,
like all the
protect
things
them.
that you would want in a home for a child.
And then cross of that would be, what about Abraham? And if God told you to kill your child, would you listen to that? And we know that answer.
That's
And
redirect.
the easy answer to that question, the easy answer to that question is, I'm not a prophet, right? Like that's what every single person.
That's
should
what
respond.
every prophet before they're actually prophesies has to go through. I mean,
Yo,
there are whole
You're
different.
God. Like, tell me in, baby. I'm ready. I'm ready to go, baby.
God
Me to
soldier.
find my life. But yeah, it seems for Gene, it seems more complicated than it sounds at first. Because I would think I guess if you are truly a born again Christian, which back in the day that was a big
thing.
That was the OGs of Christianity. Mm-hmm. I would imagine that's almost like a trick question, I guess.
Yeah, because
It's a good question.
The question implies that being religious would prevent you from being a good parent, which is nonsensical. Because most people who are very religious tend to be really good parents. Literally, we society is built on we walk
Now,
into
that means
courtrooms. It's
nothing.
like undergrad.
Now to clarify,
Yeah, we
I
live in
believe,
a.
I believe for Gene, what was a part of the entire trial or finding of fact for this family court case was potentially this emphaticness nature with religion affecting the child raising, potentially going to church and leaving the children in the house unattended.
Or going to church instead of school.
So the
or
mother in
other
this
elements of
scenario doesn't
development
take
for
the
a
children with her to
child.
church.
Yes, yeah.
So she just leaves them home.
Hypothetically.
Oh well, yeah, I could understand how that could be harmful.
Well, I think the question, she took a stand for a reason, I think. That I will put God before anybody and everybody, right?
Which is
It's
a.
her own business, but I think she paid the price.
Facts.
That's a
When
great way to
keeping
say
real
it.
goes wrong.
Hypothetical mother, you kept it real.
We salute you for that.
We
brother.
salute you for
Stood
your
on
realness.
business, for real.
Stood on business.